Good evening, my friends. So good to see you again. Here we are, another Tuesday for a Q&A. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about the pandemic and your mental health. Um, a lot of things going on, so we will talk about some of the questions we have received already. And if you have any more questions, you can put on the chat. And also, after the live session, you still put your questions because we'll be checking them as well. I'm Dr. Clelia Lima, nurse practitioner of I'm family practice, and I have a passion for helping people to live well and to be not only healthy but their best. Um, there is something called health and optimal health. And I have a passion for optimal health because that's when you have your full potential. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about your mental health and what the pandemic has potentiated some of the mental health issues. We know that mental health has been um, a big issue for a long time before the pandemic. And after the pandemic, sometimes we just felt that people had more issues with the anxiety and depression because of the pandemic. And sometimes people that already had a high risk for anxiety and depression got worse. And some of the patients that I have seen, they did not feel comfortable talking about mental health before. And now, because it's being much more open to discuss about it, they have more permission to talk about it and even seek professional help. Not everybody needs to be on medication or even psychotherapy, but some people do, because it gets to the point that just doing self-care and all the measures that we can do by ourselves is not enough. And we want to make sure that you have a very thriving and happy life. And your mental health is very important. One of the things that have been brought to my attention is how the social isolation has been a big factor in some people with social anxiety. And that was kind of tricky, so social anxiety and social isolation. What the studies have shown is that people with social isolation issues, they tend to isolate themselves from interaction with other people. Sometimes because, their self-esteem is so low that they are afraid of being judged, afraid of talking with other people and not be accepted. They just self-conscious about what they say. They might be not well received, and they might not, have the feeling of belonging to the group they're trying to fit in. So they try to isolate themselves in a way to protect themselves. However, when it comes to the pandemic and they have the social isolation that is imposed to them, it's not their choice. It becomes a problem, stacking the anxiety, because they want to be isolated in their own terms, not because it's being an external situation making them do something. It's kind of, tricky, but I can understand that, because if you have a choice to do something that it's not even healthy, but you're choosing to do that, it's different than being imposed to have social isolation because of external situation like the pandemic. So social isolation is a big thing. And for people that, are very, you know, outgoing, they like to have interaction with lots of people, not to be able to do that, it can be very detrimental to their mental health as well. So, when we're talking about social isolation, um, it's interesting to see the pros and cons. Um, when you have the new tools that we have now, the last almost 2 years that we have been dealing with um, the pandemic, for instance, all the online interactions Zoom meetings, and Zoom became a verb. Everybody knows what to do to talk to their, loved ones that they cannot communicate in person. So if you are in a situation, let's say at work, that you have a work meeting and you are on Zoom, and you have the benefit, if you have social anxiety, that you are behind a screen, behind a camera, so you kind of have some control on your environment. On the other hand, you also have more self-awareness, because you have all the little squares on screen and you see your own face, and then you start thinking, oh, how is my hair, how do I look, and am I being judged because I don't look proper, or whatever might be, you might be thinking. So that could be a source of stress as well. So uh, like everything in life, you have pros and cons. So when you think about all the communications that we have online, it can be very disturbing when you think about, oh, maybe they are recording this meeting, maybe they are recording this conversation. Am I speaking the right words? Am I tripping on my own train of thought, that I'm not being proper? So all this anxiety can be very detrimental, because that can cause you to withdraw, not to participate, or even avoid connecting with other people. So, what to do about it? Now we have more understanding of the pandemic. If you're fully vaccinated, you might venture to have more interactions in person, making sure that you interact with people that you trust, that they are fully vaccinated, like you are, hopefully. So you can have some safety. Uh, we need connections. That's part of our mental health. We need to be connected with groups of people that we can feel safe. We can be authentic. We can speak our minds and know that we're not going to be judged, that whatever we say is not going to be used against us. Because that's one of the main complaints about people that have anxiety and even depression, is that they have difficulty interacting with people, that they don't have like a network of friends that they feel safe. So it's up to you to find a place that you can be yourself, because if you can't, that's not even a relationship. So if you don't have that group of friends right now, or even family, you can create your own community. You can be the one to reach out. And even people with anxiety and depression, they can interact with other people with the same situation, because they can help each other, because how it feels to to have to deal with those things and carry on with life. So some of the things we have control, but some things we don't. So it's up to us to look for ways to feel better, to interact, to connect, to find a community that we can have a sense of belonging. So the social isolation is a reality, and exponentiated by the pandemic, but we can do something about it. It's up to us to thrive in the difficult situation. However, if you feel that you are in a in a point that you can't break through and find the help that you need to seek professional help, because you don't want to get to the point that you are so stressed out that you become worse in your um, difficulties with anxiety and depression. And that's where sometimes medication is necessary, psychotherapy, and reaching out for the right professional is the way to get yourself better, so you can be good to the people around you, to your family, and to have a thriving life. One of the things that also anxiety and depression goes hand in hand is expectations. Sometimes we have unrealistic expectations. Sometimes our expectations that are things that we just thought that could be and it's not. So we miss out other things because we are always, trying to reach to something that is not even possible. Last weekend, I had an experience with expectation. It was, a nice weekend with my family, my children, grandchildren, and we went to what we thought was the ice show at the Gaylord Palm here in Orlando. And everybody was excited about it because we had been there before, and we knew how beautiful it was, all the ice sculptures, all with the Christmas theme. So we were talking about what to wear because it's very cold, everything is like ice temperature. So and I was just thinking, oh, how beautiful it's going to be, because we knew that's like spectacular. So we got there, all excited. Everybody was there, and it was really nice getting in. All the interactions that they had with technology and different things going on, and they had this big sliding things, and it was just everything so beautiful. But we were waiting for the time that we were getting the freezing, place where they had the ice sculptures, and then it didn't happen. We got to the pictures and the gift shop, and there was no ice sculptures that we were expecting, and it was kind of like was missing. Something was missing because there was the expectation that we would see those things. So we found out that because of the pandemic since last year, they have not had the ice, uh, sculptures. So I was thinking, the expectation just gave that feeling like something was missing, because we thought we saw all those things, and then we would have the ice sculptures, those beautiful display. But you know what? Thinking back, it was wonderful what we saw. It was beautiful what we saw. The Christmas decoration and all the interactions and all the beautiful things that we saw, the pictures we took, and it was just a beautiful time. We had the best time. But if we had not had experience show, sculpture, display, we would not be thinking something was missing. So it was a very good opportunity for myself to think about, yeah, it was amazing, but it could be even better if I didn't have the expectation to start with. And then we read later that because of the pandemic, they don't have that. But that's all. Several things in life can be like that. We miss out what's the beauty around us because we're expecting something else. So with the pandemic, many times I see patients that they are very stressed out. They have serious issues going on, but sometimes it's just the expectation. Sometimes the whole thing comes back to, I want life how it was before. I expect my life to be back to the same point it was before the pandemic. It may not happen. we're just evolving. We just, in a new dimension now. We are just, in a new normal. And doesn't mean that it's bad. Doesn't mean that it's worse than before. What we have learned, the things that we have grown spiritually, personally, that could only be learned if we were going through a difficult situation. So taking good lessons out of difficult situation is a way to have a better mental health. It's a way to be a better person. It's a way to live life to the fullest, enjoying the things that are available to us right now. And when we think about the people that we can connect with, the people that we can serve, the people that we can love, to have compassion, to have joy inside ourselves so we can be good to the people around us. Life is not perfect, never will be. That would be a silly um, expectation, right? Um, we don't need perfection to be happy, to have joy, to have a full, exhilarating feeling of being just complete and happy. We can be happy in the midst of difficult situation if we allow ourselves to see the beauty around us. Always going to be some kind of silver line, always going to be some kind of gift in whatever situation we go through. So find yourself good connections, belong to a community that you can thrive, and you will find the joy that you need. Omicron, the new variant of COVID is, all over the US. What we know right now is that it's more contagious than the other variants. But so far, what we have learned is that it's not as severe. So that's good news to me. And people fully vaccinated with the booster has, we have a good chance of not getting the Omicron. But just keep in mind, the Delta variant is still the prevalent variant in the US right now. So we might have Omicron being, rapidly increasing its presence among us. But right now, the recommendation is the same. Get your vaccine, get your booster, wash your hands, wear your mask if you need to travel, if you need to be around people that you don't know, if they are vaccinated or how they behave. Maintain your distance, keep your immune system up, good sleep, good exercise, eat well, and just, take your time to be good to yourself and to do things that you enjoy, because life is beautiful and we have no guarantee of tomorrow. But today's a beautiful day and we have everything we need right now. Accept life as is the key to be happy. Not how I would like it to be, where I would like to be, but accept as it is. And that will help us to move on, to make it better, and to serve the people around us, and to make life better for other people too. So when we are good to ourselves, we can be full of joy and we overflow, and we can be good to the people around us. It was a pleasure talking to you again in our Q&A Tuesday. Next week, we're going to be here again. We're getting close to Christmas. I hope you have a beautiful week and you enjoy life and be well. And I see you next week. Oh, and remember to subscribe to my channel and to share with your friends. That will help my business to grow as well. Love you guys. Take care.